Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pagani Design PD1766 homage to a Omega Speedmaster 57 Heritage. Start with the wrist check. I'm wearing a Pagani Design PD1645 homage to a Rolex Datejust, and Grego is wearing my Porster homage to a Rolex Submariner Hulk. I told Grogu that they call it the 57 because Omega released the very first Speedmaster in 1957. He said that's a relief. He said he thought it was because there were 57 varieties like the ketchup. Let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this box. These are the newer style Pagani Design boxes. I kind of like them. They're a little bit nicer than the old boxes, although they're a hair bigger. Then we have the Pagani Design cleaning cloth. I always say how nice these are, and no sense going through the rest of the box because you already saw my unboxing video. And here is the watch. I have reviewed more Pagani Design watches on my channel than any other AliExpress watch brand. They offer solid steel watches with sapphire crystal and Seiko movements for a reasonable price and are very nice looking and seem to be solidly built. When Pagani Design released this PD1766, I really liked the looks of it, but I gave the watch a pass because I already was way behind on my reviews. I thought that at $90 it was a bit pricey for a VK64 powered chronograph. I even had a few reviewers ask me to review this watch, but I held back. Then during the last big AliExpress sale, they had this one at a pretty good discount, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I bought the blue dial, but there are also black and green colorways. If you don't like the metal bracelet, there is also a leather strap option. Personally, I prefer the looks on the leather strap, but I follow my rule of always getting the bracelet as it is easier to get an aftermarket strap than bracelet. The watch looks bigger than 40, but it's only 39.8 millimeters at the bezel. Has a 48.3 millimeters lug to lug with inverted end links. It's 13 millimeters thick, including the dome crystal. Has a 20 millimeter lug width. And weighs 140 grams on the supplied metal bracelet with 3 links removed. We have a solid steel bezel brushed on top, polished on the sides, and we have the tachymeter writing on it. It's a nice looking bezel. I think they did a good job with it. Then we have a blue sunburst dial. The sunburst effect's pretty pronounced. And then it says Pagani Design up top. And chronograph, 100 meters, 330 feet on the bottom. There is a Pagani Design logo, but it's really hard to see on the blue background. But if you tilt it, you can see it, and that is applied. Then we have applied lume indices with the triangle up top and batons everywhere else. Then we have the hands. We have the Dauphine minute hand loomed, and then we have an arrow hour hand with the tip loomed. And then the chronograph hand is not loomed, and there is no running second hand. And then the subdial hands are not loomed either. And there is no date on this watch, which is odd because the VK64 supports a date, plus the Omega that it's based on has a date at the 6. And most Pagani Design VK64s I've had have dates at the 6. So I don't know why they didn't bother to put one on this watch because it really needs a date. And they can't complain about symmetry because it would have been at the 6. And then we have the subdials. We have a 24-hour indicator on the right, which is pretty much useless. I really wish they would have had a running second hand on the right instead. I wish Seiko would make a version of the VK64 which has a running second hand instead of the 24-hour indicator. It would be a lot more useful. Down on the left, we have the minute counter of the chronograph. And then we have the crown. It's signed and it's a screw down. The crown action's good. Pops nicely when you pull it out. And it hacks, but it really doesn't matter that it hacks because there is no running second hand. And then we have the pushers. The pushers are not screwed down, which is good because that would not look right on a Speedmaster. Top pusher starts the chronograph hand, and this is a mecha quartz, so you got the smooth sweep of a 5 tick a second chronograph hand. Push it again to stop, and it's really hard to see the chronograph hand on the blue background. Press the bottom pusher, resets it, and it's an instant snap back and not a fast rewind like most quartz chronographs. And then we have the dome sapphire crystal, and it's single dome because you can see all the distortion. And there's a lot of reflection on this crystal. I kind of wish it was flat instead of domed. I don't think it would have as much reflection, or I wish it at least had some AR coating, but I don't think it does. Yeah, it makes it really difficult to see through it with all this reflection. And then we have the case. I really like the case. The case is brushed everywhere except for this chamfered edge. Really nice looking case. Really good brush work. And it is polished on the bottom, which is unusual. Usually they just brush the bottom, but that's kind of fine because it makes the case back kind of stand out. Then we have a screw down case back, which helps with the 100 meters water resistance. We have the Pagani Design logo and name. Then it says stainless steel, water resistant, 100 meters, and then gives the model number, the PD1766. Underneath the case back is the VK64 Mecha Quartz Movement. This is made by Seiko or one of its subsidiaries. And it is a Mecha Quartz Movement, which gives you that smooth sweeping second hand. Unfortunately, like I said, the VK64 does not have a running second hand, which is too bad because I think it really would be a lot better than this 24-hour indicator. So I wish Seiko would come up with a new version of the Mecha Quartz 2-register version. Then we have the bracelet. The bracelet is solid, and we have solid end links, and it's a 3-link that's fully articulating. See, the center links are not fixed to the outer links, which is unusual. Usually on a cheap watch like this, they're going to be fixed, so that's good. Plus, unlike most watches, the center links are brushed and the outer are polished, where most watches are the opposite, where the centers are polished and the outers are brushed. Then we do have push pin adjusters, which is unusual for Pagani Design. Most of them have screw pins. Like I always say, though, I'm pretty happy with push pins. I just think they're easier. I'd rather get a hammer and a punch tool and just pound them out than have to fumble with a little tiny screwdriver. Plus, I never have to worry about push pins coming out, and I've had several screw pins come out on me. Then though, we have a butterfly clasp, and this is another departure from the original Omega, which has a more traditional clasp. I don't know why they went butterfly. Unfortunately though, you get no half links, so finding the perfect fit is the luck of the draw. And unfortunately, I'm wearing this a little bit loose for me. I wish I had a half link I could push it in, but to go in a complete link would be probably too much. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's a really nice looking watch. I like it. Like I said though, it's just a hair loose on me. I wish I could bring it in half a link. But yeah, it looks nice. Oh yeah, and in case I didn't mention it earlier, I removed 3 links to fit on my 7.5-inch wrist. These links are not huge, so about 3 links. You could probably wear it if you had 8 1/4. Here we are in the Lume room. Pagani Design is usually pretty disappointing in the Lume department, but sometimes they can surprise us. As we speed up the time, we see only the major hands and the indices are loomed. The indices fade fairly quick, except for that 12 o'clock triangle that is keeping up with the hands, which are doing quite well for a Pagani Design. Their hands are what matters, and the 12 o'clock home position really helps, so I will rate this loom as pretty good, but not excellent. What do I like about this watch? Well, stunning looks. I like the fully articulating bracelet with inverted end links. And I really like this case and steel bezel. What are my gripes and groans? Lots of reflection on the dome sapphire crystal. And why not put a date on this watch? The movement supports it and the Omega has one. Also, having a butterfly clasp and no half links means I'm wearing it a little loose. The real Omega has a traditional clasp, so I don't know why they made it with the butterfly. And this is just my basic complaint about the VK64. It doesn't have a running second hand. Do I recommend this watch? Sure, this watch looks great. If you're a fan of the Omega Speedmaster 57 and can't justify $9 grand for the real thing, then you will be happy wearing this homage. I just wish Seiko would make a 2-register Mecha Quartz with a running second hand. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Pagani Design PD1766, and I will be back with the unboxing. I have a watch that just arrived from AliExpress today. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.